I've never really been into score chasing or paying close attention to the leaderboards in games, so to say that Neon White, a game that solely focuses on it, is not only actively getting me to change those habits, but is also a Game of the Year contender for me, should say a lot about how I feel about it. The newest game from Annapurna Interactive targets the speedrunning community in what feels like the Titanfall tutorial level speedrun turned into a full-fledged video game. It has flair, style, an engaging story, and perhaps some of the most addicting gameplay I've had the pleasure of playing in 2022. After meeting their untimely demise, a group of assassins find themselves at the gates of heaven. These sinners aren't here for salvation though, instead they're here to battle it out in what is essentially a demon extermination contest where the assassins with the best time score get to proceed into heaven while the others fall into eternal damnation. These assassins are called Neons, and you happen to play as Neon White, an assassin who can't recall their memories before dying, but now every other Neon here seemingly knows you, or at least has some sort of history with you. Each offers some insight into your past through conversations and cutscenes, helping to move the story forward while unraveling the mystery of your past. The bickering and exchanges between the different Neons are fun and entertaining for the most part, from the bubbly Neon Violet to the derpy muscle bro personality of Neon Yellow, to the even more serious demeanor of Neon Red. It's ultimately up to you to infer what the clues of your past mean and who to trust in the game of salvation. While some of the dialogue writing can come off as a bit cringy at times, I found the overall story to be engaging and a great backdrop for the focus on speedrunner gameplay. Across the 10-hour story mode, I enjoyed the lighthearted banter, the cool premise, and generally impeccable world building established by writer Ryan Shannon. Neon White is a bit of a departure from Ben Esposito's prior game projects, such as the comedic Donut County and the meme game Sonic Dreams collection. Neon White is still lighthearted, but is all about action-adventure. The fast-paced shooter gameplay is reminiscent of the Titanfall tutorial level, only now turned into a full game. Each chapter is broken up into a handful of levels where each level can take about a minute or less to complete depending on your skill. On the surface, you're running through levels end to end, taking out all the demons along the way in order to open up the exit waiting for you at the end. Taking out the demons isn't so much of the challenge, it's the efficiency and the speed of your run that's the real hook. Having a game score your speed isn't all that fun though, at least not to me. Neon White's secret sauce is its thoughtfully designed use of weapons that also act as platforming skills. You see, by default Neon White can only run, jump once, and slice with a knife. However, scattered across every level are cards with various weapons that also act as platforming skills. The Elevate card, for example, is a pistol that can be used to shoot faraway demons. Picking one up lets you fire a limited amount of shots before it goes away. However, at any point as long as there's still a bullet left, you can discard the card and gain a second jump. The Godspeed card on the other hand is a rifle that can aim further away, but discarding it can also give you a dash, one that might be needed for breaking through a door. You're not exactly building a deck of cards, but you're actively juggling the risk and reward of how to use these cards and in what order as you can stack and rotate them to your liking. More importantly, you're analyzing the structures around you and determining the best route to finishing rather than just taking the one laid down before you. The game may want you to run down a path and shoot every enemy in sight, but what's to stop you from jumping over the guided path, looking back to snipe your enemies you missed before while you're still running? Learning how to break the game's established routes like this is where the creativity and frankly the real fun of Neon White comes from. New weapons, movement, and enemies progressively introduce themselves with every chapter, keeping levels feeling fresh and fun. Moreover, it only takes a single button press to restart the level, so it doesn't feel all that punishing to want to restart something in order to improve your runtime. The runtime is always heavily suggested to you as when you complete a level, you'll earn a matching medal based on your score alongside the leaderboard for your friends and everyone else online. I frankly never cared to compete against my friends, but I'd be lying if I didn't get excited the moment I beat a score by my friend Jesse at Prima Games or Eric over at Destructoid. They're still way better players than me, but to know I'm progressively getting better is exciting, and suddenly I'm starting to understand the appeal of speedruns. If speedruns aren't your thing, I can see this not really catching your eye, but as someone who also was like this a week ago, all I'm saying is that it was enough to convert me. Neon White is presented in a first-person view as Neon White runs his way through the vaporware colored architecture. Heaven here is filled with popping vibrant colors, sharply angled buildings, and demons sprinkled in between. It's a lovely sight, and I found myself hyper-analyzing it both for views and insight on the most efficient run. The UI floating over everything was reminiscent of the Devil May Cry 5 game, but it has its own unique sense of style that perfectly matches the vibes Machine Girl is playing in the background. Performance is no slouch either. Neon White was originally designed with the Switch in mind, and later upscaled for the PC port. As a result, Neon White is perfectly optimized for the Switch, hitting a 1080p 60 target in dock mode and 720p 60 in handheld mode. The saturated colors of heaven are vibrant on the Switch OLED display. The PC port is great as well, and honestly, probably the way to go with the mouse and keyboard feeling more fluid than a traditional controller. It's also Steam Deck verified, so you can find a similar performing portable experience on the deck, albeit with better textures than the Switch version. I can't speak any more highly of Neon White's soundtrack other than it's easily some of the best music in a video game this year, and if anything, you have to stream it. The electronic music composed by music group Machine Girl is absolutely fantastic. The electronic drums are trance-inducing and hypnotize me as I solely focus on bettering my score with every run. It's not just the music that this game nails when it comes to audio though. The performance here is a match made in heaven. Neon White is filled with Cowboy Bebop vibes, so it's only logical that the voice of Spike Spiegel is also playing the main character in this game too. That's not to say that the rest of the cast isn't bringing their A game, with Sun Won Cho capturing the funny humor of Mikey perfectly, and Courtney Lin nailing the homicidal yet childlike nature of Neon Violet. Neon White is a fun narrative-filled speedrunner game that got me, someone who just never cared about competing for a high score, to actually care about it for once. I think that speaks volumes as to how polished and addicting Neon White can be. Complete with the lovely presentation, whether you're playing at your desk, through Steam, or on the bus with your Switch, Neon White's quick pickup and play nature is short, sweet, yet hard to put down. It's an easy contender for my Game of the Year list, and one that I can't recommend enough.